Oh! Didn't know that was happening. That was dope. That was fire. That was fire. Oh, man. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. What's up, Fight Book MMA? What's up, Hakeem? Going live with Hakeem. Oh, let's see if I can just do it. Oh, man. Oh, shit. Yo.
My guy, what's going on?
What's up?
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I just got so much energy. I just got to release it.
That's dope. What are you hyped about? Oh, you just hyped because you're panned in the house all day?
I mean, I got mad. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm always like that anyways, but so it's just funny because like some people are struggling.
Helping out a
Not.
bunch of people.
Wait, hold up. Struggling to figure out what to do like at home.
Got you. And you're helping a lot of people out?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million things you could do.
Absolutely.
Or it's just like, or not. Like someone left a tweet the other day saying like, everyone always wishes like they have time off from work to do stuff, but obviously you can't go anywhere right now. You're not supposed to, but you know what I mean. But now you could do whatever you want. Like say your side hustle, I guess you'd say.
That's real, bro.
Yeah. So it's funny, and it's kind of funny too because I call people all the time, like when I'm home, like doing work or whatever, and now less people are answering while they're supposed to be home, so it's kind of funny. That doesn't make sense.
And I felt like a jerk, honestly. I felt like I've been super busy because I'm already working from home, so I felt like a jerk the other day. Actually, today yesterday and today I was following up with a bunch of text messages from like Monday, and I just felt like a jerk. Like, damn, like supposed to be home all day and like not even answering texts. Like I feel like such an ass, but got to get back to everybody. But
yeah,
100%.
It's funny too because like at first, the first couple of days I was just like why am I about to hit up businesses? Like they're not gonna want to do anything. But now like I think it's about to change because now everyone's doing stuff online and then
100%. I think
now it's figuring out.
Absolutely. I think if you approach it not like a shark,
yeah,
and are looking at work and help some of these businesses, I think a lot of businesses are realizing that they need to make some type of digital shift from what they were doing, or figure out what type of content they can put out to continue to keep themselves relevant if their shop has to be closed over the next couple of days. I think it's if you just hit them with ideas and figure out some type of creative way to work with them, because I think a lot of people are trying to just get a whole bunch of bucks right now. And I think if you can kind of be creative where it's, figure out a pricing structure or something like that for the back end, after we kind of get through this madness when they're actually seeing some sort of revenue versus like, hey, I'll sell you this $10,000 package to do X, Y, and Z. And they have no top of the line revenue coming in right now. So it's definitely an interesting space.
Yeah. And it's like proving that, pretty much almost anything you could work from home to do.
That's real. I think it's opening the eyes to a lot of people too, showing them, one, it's showing them, like, I saw a tweet or a meme the other day of how many meaningless meetings that people have.
Oh, yeah.
When most of those meetings just could have been 2 emails or 3 emails or a 4-minute conversation and over instead of a 30-minute meeting. I think it's definitely opened the eyes up to that as well. And I think as we shift towards a more of a virtual and tech-first technology type of world, I think a lot of jobs are going to be a lot more hybrid-based, whereas it's not 9 to 5 in the office all day. Maybe it's 1 day a week in the office and the other 4 days from home or virtually. But I think this is a nice training wheels for everyone of like, oh, this is how I work from home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, have you ever been like did a 9 to 5?
A 9 to 5? No, I've had jobs though. Like it wasn't necessarily 9 to 5. Like when I was in college, I used to be an ambassador to a beets company, like the vegetable.
Yeah. Oh,
The
beats.
company, yeah, it was a company called Love Beats. They like infuse their beets with different flavors, like honey, ginger, and vinegar, and all these different types of flavors. But I used to have to go to Whole Foods and Wegmans all across New Jersey and set up a table for 4 to 5 hours and get people to try samples and like try the beats. Actually, you know what? I did have kind of a 9 to 5. It was more of a summer job, 2 summer jobs. I worked at Red Mango, the froyo place.
Yeah.
Worked there my freshman year summer, and then I all through high school and some of college throughout the summer I used to set up chairs and umbrellas down in Wildwood at the beach. But that
Hmm.
was, you could say, 9 to 5. It was morning. It was sunrise to sunset. We were literally, I'd sit on the beach all day and dig
Gotcha.
holes to set up the chairs and umbrellas.
All right. So yeah, never mind. My point was about like being in an office for 9 to 5, because then it's like I like asked several of my friends, and I already know it too from being at one, that like I feel like half the time at your job you're literally not doing anything.
Oh yeah, so much time wasted, so much BS, and
Yeah.
regardless of, and I think there's distractions everywhere. There's distractions in the office, whether it's you on Instagram, whether it's you doing this, whether it's you on some type of, platform BS, like we all do. Um, you're gonna be doing the same thing from home, and I think it's a little bit of ego. As a boss, you kind of want your employees, right next to you and an arm's distance away, being able to watch what they're doing and all that type of stuff. But I think you're definitely right. There's a lot of time wasted, regardless, in kind of every facet. I think there's a couple of programs that you can use. I can't remember the name of it because, like, for my virtual team in the Philippines, I could use it, but I don't. But there's like something where you can like monitor your team's,
Yeah.
computers while they're working. But it's just like now you're micromanaging, and that's like a whole job of its own, like making sure people are doing. I think it's get your shit done and in a certain amount of time, but try and do it as expeditiously as possible.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I just remember working my 9 to 5, and it was at the end of the day when I was saying bye, they'd ask me the questions, and I was sitting in there for like the last 7 hours. It's like then nobody came in, and I was like, all right.
What was your last 9 to 5?
Uh, I was doing social media marketing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and like web design stuff. Pretty much
Gotcha.
everything. Everything I do now, pretty much.
Where was it at?
It was in Hamden, Connecticut.
What was the company?
Oh, we're I
Oh,
don't
gotcha.
know. This is a local
Gotcha.
business, so it's like it wasn't any. I never worked at a big corporation. That's why I want.
Gotcha.
I still want to do that just to get the experience of working at a big firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so I could talk about it, just so I could
Fair.
evaluate. Not even like,
Fair.
yeah, just to so then I have that in my bag too. I'll be like, all right, I work for the small company, work for a big company, and I work for myself before, and as a freelancer.
Practitioner. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's up,
Actually,
man.
obviously, I asked my friends and stuff about, so I know what goes on, but I haven't experienced it, I guess.
100%. How are you pivoting with your clients
Yo,
right
that's
now?
what you should do that too.
What's that? Corporate?
Oh,
Nah,
no, no,
fuck
no, no,
that.
no, like 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 undercover boss, like do it for like a day, and just be like, they think you're
That would
like
be
the new
cool.
guy. They think you're like the new employee.
That would be cool. Like that would be kind of interesting. Like,
Yeah.
do you think a company would hire you for something like that? Like letting them know up front, like, look, I'm only gonna work here for a day, but I'm just gonna really be just snooping on your employees.
You could call him up, be like, yo, I just want to do this experiment, just like the dude I was watching, Super Size Me 2, Morgan Spurlock,
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet. I saw the
and
first
he,
episode.
but I mean, that's pretty much what he does, just like kind of experiments, and I think he had a show too that he did stuff like that.
That's dope. That's super dope. How have you, with the corona and all that, how have you kind of adjusted
Yes,
your
yeah.
strategy with
So
your
for
clients and all that?
well, like I said, I would like obviously I'm reaching out to get like sponsorships and speaking engagements and stuff. So it's like at first I was like, all right, like 2 days I was like, all right, I'm not like everything's done right now, and now everything's turned around just because well nothing's happened, but I'm saying in my mind everything's turned around because now everyone's posting like kind of like normal life. that
Yeah.
were inside. Normal life inside, I guess. I don't know. So I haven't reached out to any companies or anything yet. So that's why I'm interested. But I think, like, so for example, like all these live, like everyone's going live now. Like last night, Jamel Hill and Carrie Champion went live. They used to work. They used to be ESPN anchors.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that blew up, and I'm like, and they're just talking unfiltered, like everything. And I'm like, yo, someone's already gonna, like, a brand could catch on to this right now and ask them to go live like every day at whatever 5 o'clock. And then that could be sponsored by whoever.
Interesting.
Presented by whoever. Yeah, like it's gonna happen. I don't know. And I don't know, like all the, like I know about all this stuff before it happens, sort of, but like I'm never the one capitalizing off it, I guess.
No, I feel you. I think speaking engagements wise, I think there is actually a window of opportunity right now.
Virtual.
So one thing that I've always said is I, like this past year, I probably got on like, 20, 30 stages speaking, but that was mainly off of just referrals and just people in my network just kind of hooking me up. There wasn't really any outreach on my part. And literally right before this Corona started, I'm like, all right, I put all the systems in place to actually, get a reliable system on actually reaching out to different speaking gigs, like different events and stuff like that. So I started doing that, and then like Corona came the next day. But what I've noticed is the event planners are still responding, and I'm reaching out to events after June. But then what I've realized is even the events that are like in March and in April, like if you just reach, like pretty much what I did was Googled a whole bunch of different events and sent out like emails. A lot of those events that are getting rescheduled, they have to scramble for new speakers as well. Because if you're a busy speaker and you're speaking on a lot of stages, and now this event just got moved from March to September, and you're already booked for September because a lot of gigs book 3 to 6 months in advance, then you're not going to be able to do both. So a lot of events that may have already been booked, there may be an opportunity. There might be like a super sweet spot of an opportunity with these next like 2 to 3 weeks, kind of with everything. But just to reach out to some of these event planners because they might be in a scramble right now if that event just got canceled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and I got a great idea, so I'm glad it's like this is recorded and hopefully it doesn't get lost after. But so you know how like basically all the colleges and high schools are going like online now.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be like a thing where you could be like, yo, I'll give them either a live speech or you could record it.
Oh, 100%.
Or commencement speeches. I don't think there's going to be graduations this year either.
Yeah, that's going to be
live stream graduations, live stream commencement speakers.
I don't know what they'll do. I think they'll just reschedule graduation for everybody to come on campus because it's hard to
everything. Well, I mean, that'd be hard too.
Yeah, I feel like it's just hard to someone's college graduation going to live stream.
Yo, it's happening.
I just think we're too entitled as a society to even let that shit slide. Like, there's too many people are gonna be like, no, I want my graduate. You know what I mean? That's I don't see it happening. I could see it in the future. Yeah, 10 years from now, there'll be a whole bunch of virtual graduations.
Hopefully college is in existence. So.
What, you mean like move totally online?
Nah, like gone.
Just not existence completely.
Nobody goes to college. Nobody goes to college no more.
I think a version of that will happen, but only reason why I don't think it'll happen, or why not society, big business won't allow it to happen, is because, meaning like the what do you call it, are down right now. Like the gates are open. If you don't want to, if you can work down there anywhere without having a college degree, unless you're a doctor, a lawyer, some type of skilled professional. I think though that if these college campuses, and I may have talked to you about this earlier, I think if college campuses, or if students don't go to college anymore, you're going to see another type of, I wouldn't say recession, but like, think of right now what's going on with how all these areas, because of the quarantine, are empty. So all these small businesses have no support. There's a lot of small towns all across the country where the college is the main crutch for all the small businesses. Like take Sacred Heart and like whatever the local pizza shop is there, that business is gone.
Trash.
Sacred Heart's gone. It's trash. That's funny. But I think there's a lot of there's a lot of spots that can be vulnerable for something like that, if you know what I'm saying. That's the reason why I say businesses probably won't allow it, because their businesses can be super affected by it if that happens. I don't know. And then there's a lot of businesses that just want a bunch of robots fresh out of college and, like, you know, brainwash zoo animals who know everything about money, credit, and finance to come straight into their business so they don't have to train them themselves because it's cheaper for them.
True. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, like, I want college to end personally, but I'm saying I don't think it's going to end in 10 years. But I think less and less people are going to start going, though. I think more people, a lot of younger kids been asking me about college, too. Like, should I go or shouldn't I go? So I've been telling them, don't go if you don't know what you want to do, or if you have a big scholarship or it's cheap, then sure, go. Or don't go. And then if you don't know what you want to do, but you have, like, some ideas, I always just say go try to get internships. Obviously.
That's real. As soon as you graduate, or even before you graduate.
Because think about it, I don't know what happened when you were in college, but I'm assuming it was the same thing, and it wasn't until junior year when they pretty much told you to go get an internship.
Yeah, but when you play football, most football players couldn't get internships.
Yeah, well, even
on top
unpaid.
of that. What'd you say? But yeah, junior year was the year when most people got their internships. But I think that's a great time to just, I mean, you could. I meant your senior year of high school. You should start reaching out.
Oh,
right?
yeah, no, I'm talking about college.
I'm thinking about college. I'm thinking senior year of high school. You should.
That's what I'm saying. That's super late.
Oh yeah. I feel you, but I just think junior year, a company is a lot less likely to take you serious. I think they're going to take you a little more serious as a senior, like.
What, high school or college?
High school. You're 18 years old.
I'm talking about when we were in college. They didn't tell us to go get.
Yes, junior year, 100%.
So I'm saying that's way too late.
What, to get an internship?
Like, you got to get it before, yeah.
Before your junior year, I don't know. I don't understand the internship space because I've never had one. Where I was going with it is if you're in high school and you're saying fuck college.
Oh yeah.
When you're your senior year, I think is the right time. Your junior year, I think, might be a little too early because someone might not take you as serious as a 16, 17-year-old versus like, I'm this eager high school senior, don't want to go to college and ready to fucking lay it all on the line for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, college internship is kind of the biggest scam because you get 3 credits. You're paying for 3 credits, and then you're most likely getting an unpaid internship.
Oh yeah.
So
that's another reason. That's another reason why I said big businesses won't allow it. Either. And that's why big businesses won't allow colleges to drop, because they're missing out on all their free employees that they get from interns as well. Yeah. Like their little intern pipeline that they have.
But the other thing is, it's not like it's easy to get. I know it's not easy to get an internship.
That's true.
It sounds easy.
It does sound easy. It sounds very easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. I think it's just a game of numbers. I think people put internships on a pedestal and think that I got to apply and I got to fill out this application and all that, versus just DMing a shit ton of people.
Oh yeah, and I think interviews should be totally done. I want tryouts. Yeah, I'm sports. I want tryouts.
You want tryouts? No interviews?
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Kind of like the Gary Vee method.
That's basically how I got my job. I went through a temp agency. 2 weeks I was getting paid minimum wage with a master's degree, and then I got hired. And then I still didn't get that much, but then I got a raise like every 3 months.
That's good. Wait, are you still working right now outside of PG?
I have freelance clients, but no, I'm working for myself, I guess. That's it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, and I do stuff for the Yes Network, but I count that as like freelance stuff too because I don't go there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that's also it's also dead right now because all the sports are gone.
100%. Like your sports freelance clients, are you kind of advising them different things to do now during this time?
Oh, we're crashing and burning.
What do you mean when you say crashing and burning?
No, I mean at first I was, but no, I'm trying to figure out new stuff. Like I was going back to what we were talking about before.
Gotcha. Super interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It's crazy time.
That's why I'm like, now I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I kind of put all my eggs into sports to an extent. in all
Yeah, but I
sports.
think it's all about adjusting. Like right now,
Yeah.
for your sports clients, a great offering for them would be, what do you call it? Starting their own podcast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's where
I mean,
I'm trying to double down on that right now. Like we've packaged up like a kind of like a package deal for like we have like a turnkey product now that's like we get you to episode 8 of your podcast essentially. Because right now is when you're in sports, you literally can't do shit right now, obviously, besides work out and record it. You can't go anywhere, you can't do cool shit, you can't. I think it's a great time to triple down on your network
mhm.
and utilizing stuff like IG Live, but you also, like, if this is a podcast, have your Zoom on your computer as well. And now start to build that brand, because now the content that you can put out is this shit, from the interviews that you've been doing. And I think that it's kind of like a tester. It's like getting your feet wet of what life after retirement is going to be like. This is it right here for at least pro athletes, because they're like, holy shit, I haven't been around my family for this extended amount of time. I haven't just been in the house for this amount of time. It's obviously it's probably sensory overload for a lot of dudes, because this is a lot going on, especially with free agency going on.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're in March, we're mid-March. Like, it's an interesting time at least for NFL I'm talking about, but just pro athletes in general. I think it's a great time for them to tap into their network and just try shit. If you thought about being a doctor, you should interview a doctor. You thought about being a writer, you should interview some journalists from your team. If you thought about being a Wall Street dude, you should have somebody from Wall Street on your show. Because you're a pro athlete, they're 10 times more likely to really want to come on your show. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, now these people are definitely in your network. So if you really bang with it and resonate with them, you're like, you know what? I am going to be a Wall Street dude, and I'm going to hit that Wall Street dude up who I just had on my show, versus, retiring and kind of just being done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the other thing too. Like the same thing. Like last week, I was like, all right, this is the greatest time to get podcast interview guests, but I'm like, are people going to want to talk? This is the question. So
What do you
then,
mean, want to talk?
because they're like depressed and stuff.
Yeah.
So then I was like so once again, like last week and then Monday just changed, and then I was like, yo, fuck it. Like, and I DM'd like a shit ton of people, and then I got like, I did 2 podcasts yesterday. I did 2 podcasts yesterday, and I was supposed to do 4 the rest of the week. So I did 6 podcasts in 1 week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's essentially what I mean. We've got all this time, and
then that's why going back to the people that are saying they're bored and stuff, and I'm like, yo, let's connect. Like, I'm hitting you guys up. I seen people, I seen people. My bad. I just got a text. I seen people saying they're bored, and I literally DM'd them, and they didn't look at it. And I'm like, yo, like, let's do something then.
No, that's real shit.
The same thing with the Instagram live thing. Like, that's why I'm going live every day. Like, just then putting it out on YouTube, and hopefully maybe it'll cheer people up or something, or get their focus off coronavirus.
That's real.
Even though we got to talk about it.
This shit's wild. Oh, Matt just responded. Hey, Matt, what's going on? Matt's one of my good friend of mine. The editing definitely sucks.
Oh, I don't do editing.
Yeah, that's why you find a company, either like myself or find some type of freelancer to kind of handle the back end. So it's kind of, you just show up, shoot, and then send it off. I think that's I wouldn't say it's the best way to do it. The best way is the cheapest way, which is doing it obviously yourself, but that's also the most time-consuming way. But the simplest, most friction-free way is record, send it off. So yeah, if you need help, reach out.
Is he talking about video podcasts or just audio?
Yeah, Matt, are you talking about video or audio?
Oh yeah, guys, if you guys want to ask any questions too, just drop them in. Yeah, sometimes I'm feeling myself and I'm like, yo, I'm getting like better at that. I'm like, yo, I don't think this needs to be edited.
Oh, I just do one shot through. I'll add in the intro, maybe an outro, and then if there
Oh
was
yeah.
like a known spot that, if there was a known spot that, you kind of screwed up on, you go back and fix it. Besides that, after that, it's the micro content, which might take a little bit of time, but I think the micro content's the most important. Audio wise, I mean, I think, let's go, Reek. I think audio wise, it's, it is time. I mean, it's the length of the episode. So however long your
Yeah.
episode is, you're gonna have to go back and re-listen to it. But if the interview went solid, I really don't think, at least in the beginning days, you don't have to worry about everything in between the lines. Like chop
Yeah.
off the beginning, chop off the end, add your intro, add your outro, post it. People don't really care about, people do care about audio quality as you get bigger, but right now it's, can I hear what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, post it.
Well, I mean, that's another great point too. I hate, I'm in like these Facebook groups about podcasts, and I hate when people are posting like, one guy posted like from Guitar Center, it was like $1,000 kit with like 2 microphones and like a mixer, and everyone was like bashing him. I'm like, bro, go on Amazon, you get the same thing for like under 300.
That's real.
And it's just like,
Matt,
hey, what do you say?
he said, I get off topic easily, so podcasts that may last 2.5 hours may only have 30 minutes extracted. Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. You can post a 2.5 hour episode for your podcast though too. I think it really depends on what you're trying to do, what your strategy is, and I know we have actually, I think we're talking either today or tomorrow. We have a phone call set up, Matt, um, from that one podcast. Yeah, you can get 3, and that's up to you. If you want to get, if you're doing it to get 3 episodes out of it, dope. But if not, like, I don't think, what's the word? Like, I don't think it's necessary to, like, I would just take the 2.5
Yeah.
hour episode and post it, and then I would find micro content in there.
Yeah.
So I would find, or I would take, if you have your 30-minute snippet that then I think just zoom, go to that spot, clip. I think when it comes to editing with my team, I always preach, just speed. Like, speed is the most important, because you'll wind up, all of a sudden, 4 hours go by and you're still on the same episode, and like, you definitely don't want to be there. And then Heartland REI asked, what do you use to edit your videos? At least me personally, my team overseas, they use Final Cut and Adobe. But myself, like on videos that I do myself, I'll just use simple iMovie to chop stuff. But then on like the editing, there's an app called Veemly, and I'll type it in. It's VEME.ly. They cost a little bit, but they help you with the subtitles, the little titles that you see at the top of the screen. And I actually made a video on my Instagram probably like 3 months ago. It's like a 6-minute video just walking you through. It's like a screen recorded video showing you how I've used the app called Veemly. Veemly is one of the better apps to create micro content from. But the long form video, I mean, you can use iMovie, which is free if you have a MacBook, and or some cheap software somewhere. You can find a torrent download for Final Cut for free if you don't have the money. But yeah, I think video software, when it comes to editing, simple stuff like iMovie always works. What about you,
Yeah.
Paul? What do you use for editing for?
I use iMovie too. People don't
Gotcha.
people don't believe me.
Yeah, iMovie's super. It's super easy, and it's super user friendly. But I don't know if you have a MacBook or not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's no, not you. The guy who asked the question. Because iMovie works really, really well.
yeah.
No
Actually,
problem.
I have Final Cut. I just haven't played around with it yet.
Final Cut's it's a little more, like, iMovie's probably easier.
Final Cut? Yeah, Final Cut. That's the Apple version, yeah, or by Apple or something. I don't know. I forget.
Final Cut, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I would. Oh yeah, and to your point, what you said to Matt, yeah, I would definitely just release the whole episode. Even if you wanted to, you could release, like you said, the 30. If it's like a 30-minute, you could just release it as like a sub episode too, like in the audio platform.
Mm-hmm.
You know
You
what
could
I'm
have
saying?
a full episode, and then you could have a 30-minute episode too. Just don't put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
Where do you post the hour-long videos? Yeah, YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube's the only place you can. right now, unless you're verified on Instagram. You can post up to 60 minutes on IGTV.
I
Yeah.
think anyone could do it. You just have to do it from your computer on IGTV.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was up to 10 minutes for anyone. I had no idea. I didn't know that you could. That's awesome.
Because I think
I think when it first came out, it might have been that way.
yeah.
But no, I would use YouTube as the best place to post the full video, and then the micro content is where you put on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, run ads against it, and make the landing point to your YouTube pages. Like I think, but the hour-long video, I mean, the only place too is YouTube.
Is yours? Who is this? Is yours a video podcast or just audio? Because I don't know. I also upload the video on Facebook, but they don't really do well. But like when I do an in-person one, then I'm definitely gonna put it on Facebook too, like a video in-person one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But originally I was, but you don't know if the people are really. I mean, I guess you do want to check the analytics. You don't know if the people are real. I don't think anyone's really gonna watch the video of just a picture on Facebook, but I throw it up there anyways for content, basically.
Yeah, it's always good to do video.
Oh yeah, so his video. Oh yeah, you should definitely throw it up on Facebook too. I mean, I would throw up the link and then obviously clips too.
Definitely.
Actually, I just made my podcast website. I didn't release it yet, but I have to do like one more page. It's an about page.
What's a podcast?
Yeah,
or an episode?
No, I made a website for my podcast.
Oh, website for it. That's dope. I'm about to launch I host a bunch of podcasts, but I'm about to launch my own podcast. It's gonna be called Value.
Yeah, wait. How many podcasts? So you don't have your own podcast? You're just on, or you're co-hosting?
Yeah, so I've got my real estate podcast that I co-host with my real estate partner. I've got a podcast with a company called Athlete's Guide that I host. Then I've got a podcast with Gordon called Not Just Jocks.
Yeah, you need a website with all of them.
Yeah, then I've got shows, and then this is where I was like, I'm not going to create separate podcasts. I'm just going to have one final show. Then I've got St. Louis Small Business Podcast, which is just focused to St. Louis and small businesses.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that? Are you in any of the podcast groups on Facebook?
Nah.
Because one person put that, I forgot what city it was, but they were getting a crazy amount of views and downloads because it was just focused on the city.
100%. That's the only reason why I segmented that, because once I get that one going, I'm gonna definitely get some ads from just local companies and businesses here.
Yeah, it's dope.
But my own show is just gonna be called Value, and it's essentially gonna be like when I spoke at Clark University the other day, it'll just be the Q&A from that speech. Will be an episode on the podcast. When I had lunch the other day with this cannabis professor and it was recorded, that'll be an episode on the podcast, the audio from it. Yeah. When I have a show called Perspective where I'm interviewing older people, which I also think I'm going to turn into its own podcast, just because it's a specific niche. So I'm interviewing people who are 60 years and older and immigrants, but I've already done a bunch of interviews for it. Yeah. So clips from that will be like, not clips, full episodes. Like when I interviewed a Vietnam vet who's in his 70s, that will be an episode on my Value show. When I interviewed the owner, like an interview from the St. Louis Small Business Podcast from a business owner out here, will be an episode on the podcast. The audio from me being a guest on your podcast will be an episode on my podcast. You get what I'm saying?
You're stealing my content?
I'm not stealing it. I'm putting you on. It's going to say EP3 is going to have the whole. I think it's just because I have I could run that podcast for a year and never record anything for it because I have so much in the queue. But I'm going to just continue, and like I might do some solo episodes if I feel like it, if there's a topic that's pressing enough that I just want to talk on. But I don't really do that much.
Yeah, those are hard.
And then just people, because I don't want to put myself in a box. That's why I have so many different shows, because in order to interview people, I've sometimes on the spot, not on the spot, but created a show and then interviewed. Without this value show, at the end of the day, it's interviews that I know are going to bring value to my audience.
Yeah.
Or something that's going to bring value. So it's going to super open box, if you know what I mean. So anything can kind of fit in it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't name my podcast PG Sports Podcast, but I guess I should have because now somebody has that. But
really?
Yeah, and
what's the name of your podcast?
Average to Savage. So
Average to Savage.
So I made it that so I could interview anyone because I didn't want to interview just athletes. But I mean, majority are athletes, but
yeah. Interesting. Have you tried interviewing any brand managers or like CMOs or things like that on your show?
Well, I mean, I interviewed the founder of Starter brand.
That's dope.
Yeah, that might be a 1-to-1 because he has no interviews.
He's never been on an interview, you said?
No, he's like 75 probably. He didn't really know what a podcast meant at the time.
How'd you get that interview?
Well, he's from New Haven, Connecticut, so that's where Starter was founded. So I already knew about it, and then I was actually substitute teaching. My boy was the soccer coach. He was substitute teaching. He's like, yo, you know, he's still the basketball coach at Hampden Hall, and I was like, nah. And then he's like, you should hit him up. So I emailed him.
He coaches basketball for like a high school? Would you say you broke up for a second?
Not anymore. Yeah,
not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he's coaching anymore. He might be coaching. I forget.
You broke up for a minute. I can hear you now. What'd you say?
I said he might be coaching now.
I
forgot. But anyway, so he coached at this Hampden Hall, and then he coached in Florida. He actually coached Brandon Knight.
Okay.
In high school, too. So that was cool. So when I interviewed him, actually, he was more pumped about talking about basketball coaching than to creating Starter.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So he actually at University of New Haven, the gym is named after him, and the Hampden gym's named after him too. That's cool. I interviewed. And actually, you should look at this other interview because this one, I felt like super dumb after because I had no idea what I didn't even know what she was talking about. But it was one, and she works for what's it called? Angel Hack. You ever heard of it?
Was it like an angel investors type of startup?
No, so they go around the world and do what? They go around the world and they have kind of like contests that people make apps for.
Oh, cool.
And they go all around the world and do it. So it was pretty interesting, and she was super smart.
That's awesome.
So that was a different one. I forgot what else we were talking about, but I had the dude Kush Poppy on. He has like 1 million followers on. He does like those comedy videos.
Okay.
So that was a pretty random one.
That's dope though.
Yeah. Actually, I had a Duke professor on too. I feel like now that I'm saying all these are all earlier ones, and I feel like I was getting doper people earlier. No offense to anybody, but yeah, I remember this Duke professor. Like she reached out to me, and I was like, all right, this is cool. And it was only like my maybe I don't know, less than 20 episodes deep, and I was just awesome. Like, yeah. So that was cool too because it's like obviously Duke is pretty prestigious.
Absolutely.
And I had the founder of Overtime on too, because I knew him before he founded Overtime.
They're killing it right now.
He went to Penn actually. Actually, I gotta ask what's his name if he knows him. No, he should know him. Maybe Brandon Copeland. Because they had to be at school at the same time. He's 1 year older than us, but the kids might be the same age as us. I don't know.
Copes is great, dude. He's gonna be on my real estate podcast, actually.
Yo, I'm mad, because I was supposed to go to a celebrity game.
Canceled, huh?
Yeah.
That was in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it was the Barclays.
Shout out to Copeland, won that NFLPA award this year. He's Great people. I actually went to high school with his wife.
Oh, that's crazy.
Great people. Great people.
Yeah, look, this is the podcast website. I got the playlist because I asked like majority of the people what their favorite song was right now. So I made it on Spotify. I'm probably gonna do it on YouTube too. Actually, there was like 2 songs that were on Spotify, so I gotta make the YouTube one. I guess I gotta make the Apple.
That's a dope concept. I like that.
Yeah, just actually your song is on here. I don't know if you remember what it was. I think I remember because I just did this like yesterday. Like, oh yeah,
the song that I put on there. What did I put?
This one, Lady.
Lady by mistake. I think I said that. So I actually like Tadao by Masego. The Lady is the name of the album, but still, it's a great song. Great song regardless. The name of the song is Tadow.
Oh, so
Lady is the name of the album. The album's called Lady. Yeah, great. I actually have the record for it. I got supposed to get that on Christmas like 2 years ago, and I got it. It was so backed up. I didn't get it until like May of like that year. Of like the next year. Huh?
The record?
The record, yeah. It's that like popular at the time.
Are you outside right now?
Yeah, my daughter's asleep, and my apartment, it carries noise really well, or really bad, and I just don't. I'd rather not wake her up than wake her up. So it's not too bad out here.
Yeah.
Rainy St. Louis.
Yo, that's who I'm trying to get on. The King of St. Louis, if you know who that is.
The King of St. Louis?
The King of St. Louis. You're probably going to laugh once I say it.
Who is it?
Nelly.
That's dope. That'd be dope to get him on. What have you done to try and get him on so far?
I'm not. It's not a try. I'm supposed to have him on, but his management team just hasn't gave me a date or anything yet for the past like year and a half. But they agreed. I have the emails that they said yeah.
Send them some cookies.
And then I hit him up. I literally hit him up the other day, because so this is what happened. So I hit them up because he has the brand 3 Commas with Mark Cuban and his business partner.
Okay.
And so I reached out to the business partner, and then I said, I want to have you, Mark Cuban, and Nelly on, and I'll say it's sponsored by 3 Commas. Boom. Right?
Dope as hell.
And then obviously I'm saying he's not like the famous one, so I asked him to be on also, the third guy, you know what I'm saying? So then he was probably pumped because who asked him to be on a podcast? No offense. And then he was, I don't know, maybe like 2 months later he answered. He's like, yeah, checked it out. I liked it. He's like, yeah, I'll hit up Mark Cuban's other assistant. And he was like, yeah, I could just, when I see Nelly next time, I'll tell him. And I was like, what? I was like, what? Wait. I was like, I'm about to get both of them. And then, yeah, so then, and then he was like, at the end, he was like, oh, Nelly's other manager, Jay Irving, Dr. J's son, he like loved the podcast. And I was like, what? This is crazy. And this was literally, I only had probably like maybe 10 or 15 episodes out.
Damn, that's crazy.
And then, yeah, so I never got Nelly on or Mark Cuban yet, but I got Dr. J's son and I got the other guy. So I haven't released those yet, though, because I'm waiting to do Nelly and have all 3 of them. Release them in a week, pretty much.
That's dope. That's super dope. I was going to say, the reason why I said cookies, I've been sending cookies to people that I want to meet. Like, as a way of pattern disruption. You know, we get so much BS in our inbox. And,
well, I guess I'll take your advice, because then there'll be 3rd time's the charm, because I took your advice on when you said, when I first made I made pictures like this. I just made the picture say, right?
Okay.
And then I did just audio.
Uh-huh.
And then I did.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, I understand what I can bring to it.
The highlights.
You know, it might not always show up.
Progression.
That's dope.
And then the other thing I took was that you told me the last time we talked on the phone was you were like, yo, send videos to the people that you want to get in touch. And I did it, Josh Hart saw it, but he didn't respond. He didn't even watch the video because I could see it because it's on YouTube.
Shit's crazy. Well, you sent him a YouTube video?
Yeah, because I couldn't. Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think you got back to me when I asked. I couldn't upload the video through a message.
You don't have to upload it. You just sent. So if you go to LinkedIn on your phone, once you're connected with someone, you have to be connected first. You can't do it. You can't do it cold. Once you're
I'm connected with them
if you press the plus button right next to send message,
on your
a
phone.
whole bunch of options will come up, like send attachment, send photo, send video, take video. And you just take a video right there and just say, hey, what's going on, Josh? My name is Paul. Super happy to connect with you. Hope my content brings you value. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Boom.
Bro,
Send.
how do you click on that though?
Let me see. Go to the message. Go to the message bar. Go down, down, down.
Oh, yeah. No, this is just on my computer though, so.
It doesn't have it on the computer. So when you're right there on the computer, it would be where it says GIF and all that.
Yeah.
On your phone, I'll screenshot it for you on my phone. I'll screenshot it for you exactly where it's at, and you'll be like, oh shit, I need, like right where, if you were sending a text message or if you were sending any type of message, right where the send button is, right next to it, there's a plus button. And you can't do it from the computer though.
That's so funny because I was like, yo, why isn't this working? And I was like, maybe I have to be LinkedIn Premium.
That shit works. But the cookies thing, bro, it's just packaging.
Yeah, I'll send cookies. Well, I mean, I kind of already been doing that with sending gear to people, and then, you know.
Yeah, gear works. I mean, gear obviously works too. Yeah. Cookies is good because whatever you send them immediately, you're just top of mind. Like if I'm sending you, if I want to,
I'm sending them fruit. Yo, everyone's on their health grind. Yo, I'm sending them fruit baskets.
Or fruit baskets, yeah. Like, you know, blah 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 blah. When I want to meet with a bunch of real estate brokerages out here in St. Louis, so I started with 10 to the top, and I just sent it. Terrible timing. So we'll see what the response is like.
I need that Edible Arrangements partnership because the guy went to my high school, and I need him on my podcast too. So I'm just speaking it into existence right now.
You should have him on your podcast first.
Yeah, no, he hasn't answered me yet. He literally went to my high school. My high school never said anything about him in my life. I found out by another podcast. What'd you say?
I got a bone to pick with them. I went there to go get something the other day. There's one like right behind. There's one like, shit. I don't know if you can see that. Like right up this hill, right behind my place. There's an Edible Arrangements. Yeah. Walked up there because I needed to get a gift for somebody. Stood in the store for 5 minutes, saying hello, ringing the bell. No one. Like the door was open, then I just left, and I'm like, this is.
I saw on LinkedIn actually they started doing CBD in the whatchamacallit.
Who's Matt Davis?
I have no idea. All right, Matt.
Well, that's weird.
Always got to get one of those guys.
What were you saying about LinkedIn?
I was saying Edible Arrangement came out with CBD Edible Arrangements.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
What's up, Marcus?
What'd you say about? Go ahead, sorry.
They have CBD now in their Edible Arrangements. You get it, which is wild.
Interesting. CBD industry is interesting too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What's up, Matt?
Now I'm gonna look up his page right now.
No, I'm not gonna give him the attention he wants.
What else? What was I gonna say?
What do you call it? Said he signed off earlier. Didn't know if he answered his earlier question. What was your question, bro?
Do you mind looking at my page to see?
I'll hop on there. Stay live real quick, Paul, and I'll hop back on.
All right.
I'll hop right back on. I'm gonna check out his page.
All right. What? I'll check out your page right now. Let's see. I could have just flipped the thing. Appreciate it.
My first school year, which happened to be that fall term in 2013 in regards to sales. I think I served several families, maybe close to 9 or 10 deals that year, which is not a whole bunch, but it's enough.
Yeah, I follow you.
For my first year, and I was able to score Rookie of the Year for Deep Protein.
Wow, so
Yeah.
you had 10 deals in the first real deal, real year, and you were Rookie of the Year for the whole brokerage. And how many people were in the brokerage?
At that time, I would say we probably had about 300, 350. But of course, we've doubled in that size since then. It's been a long time, and Nebraska Realty has grown substantially. So it's probably much more competitive these days. So I'm grateful. I think it paired a lot with my community involvement as well. So I think they looked at it as a bigger package than just sales, because real estate is just more than sales. It's how you present yourself in the community, what you're doing to give back to the industry, all of those types of things. My first.
What's up, Josh? I mean, I like your page. I like the setup. I'm not like into real estate, but I know Hakeem is, so I'm sure he'll could give you more. And he's back right now. Yo, Josh, we should go live one day during this Corona. I know you played for the Yard Goats from Connecticut, so that's how I knew about you.
Yo.
Yeah, I was tripping. I was like, all I had to do was this because I'm on my computer right now. I've just been like,
So I think I really like your page, bro. A couple things. And it's something I've recently done because I haven't done it in the past. I would just try, and this is probably the smallest piece of advice. Decide on a font for your upper thirds and kind of stick with it. Because it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's all over, but it can be a little all over when you have a bunch of different fonts. But I mean, your videos look great, man. I would try, like, for that last interview, at least with the content that you put out, like your last 2 posts, I'm not sure the audience you're trying to reach. So I think that those last 2 videos, there might not have been much value in it for the audience. Like the agent who just finished her rookie year was kind of her listing off her accomplishments and things like that. But as someone on the receiving end of that, it's not necessarily bringing them much value unless it's another agent, if you kind of know what I'm saying. So I think one thing, and I'm not sure if you're doing this or not, all the content, the micro content that you've created, another hack for your growth is to be, I don't know if you're doing this, but sharing that content with those guests as well. And then there's a real estate page, there's a real estate Instagram called Blacker Pockets. I just put them in the, I just typed it into the comments. They're an influencer page with like 140 something thousand followers. So some of those great videos you had about, how you lost how you had a deal and what kind of went wrong, or how that one dude got his first property with $10,000, or anything that's super value add, or that dude talking about credit and how to fix that. Those type of videos, I think if you reach out to a site like Blacker Pockets. So Blacker Pockets, it's costing $100 to post on their main feed and $25 to post in their story. But if you kind of put a budget behind some of those videos as well, it'll also just help your growth outside of the organic reach that you've been getting, because the followers on Blacker Pockets page are all in the real estate space. So they're going to really resonate with your content and now flock to your page to get more of it. I think that's probably, like everything else, I think it's that you're obviously early in it. Like you probably got 15 to 20 of those types of videos. I think just keep going. Like patience is big too, and you'll continue to grow that way. But I think hacking your audience by sending it to them, and then finding some influencer pages like Blacker Pockets to then amplify your best videos to expand your reach of your audience. Because it really ultimately comes down to what you're trying to do and who you're trying to serve. And I hope that kind of helps.
I would also start putting like if you have a logo or a watermark or something on like at the bottom or something, the videos, or your ad name, I guess.
I have 6 hour long video edited since. That's awesome, bro. That's so cool. I'm glad you're going, man. Yeah, me and him talked about a month ago. That's so dope. It's all, and that's crazy. That's all been a month. So it's the process. You know what I mean? You just keep going, keep going. Most people stop after month 1, month 2, month 3, month 8. If you're really about this life and you're really going to be doing it, just continue to document the journey, because when you're documenting the journey, content is effortless at that point. You just find the pieces of content that are bringing value to the end consumer and just post that. You don't have to think, because you're already doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy too, because I've seen kind of relatable. Like, I've seen just so many clothing brands come up and shut down, like, since I've been doing it.
Oh yeah.
Beginning, like, it's so, like,
everything's a fad.
Yeah, when you're new, everyone loves it when you're new, but like staying consistent and like keep on going, like that's when people just stop doing it.
Yeah, like, what are you doing in month 9? What are you doing in month? You know what I mean? This is month 13 for me. No, it's month 13. No, this is year 8 of real estate. This is month 13 of putting out content.
Gotcha.
I retired right at the end of February last year, and literally next day I started posting content from speeches that I had earlier that month, and like went just all in and had.
Yo, you know what you need? Yeah, you need more pictures, bro.
Oh, I know. That's why
of yourself.
Because
I remember when I was looking for your when I was doing the edit for yours
for the podcast, you couldn't.
And I was like, I didn't want football. I mean, I obviously wanted the football picture, but I wanted
you
the
gotta go to
regular
my
picture
page
too.
now.
Yeah.
You look at the progression of my page. There's like no pictures the past 6 months, but I've literally
people have been telling me to do it, but I don't want to. But I probably do it eventually. They're like, yo, you gotta do a photo shoot, so you gotta do a photo shoot. Yeah.
You do either a photo shoot or the next time you're doing something.
Yeah, like this is dope.
Appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, next time you're doing something like a speech or like a podcast, I would hit up one of your friends like, yo, can you just take a couple of pictures with me when I'm doing, like, I now have my interns every time I'm live doing a podcast, and somebody make sure they take at least one picture, or someone when I'm doing a speech, making sure there's at least a picture. And then the other day I got a little mini photo shoot. Those pictures aren't out yet. Then I just did another photo shoot with the cardboard boxes, just starting to drop some of those pictures.
There you go.
Because pictures, you can do multiple things. Like, I think you should always, or you can mix. You know, I'm not crazy about just posting a picture by itself.
Yeah. No, once you get the things too, then you could like, you know, cut them out, and then they could use them for promotion too, for like when you're at speaking events and stuff like that.
100%.
Yeah, like, yo, my boy did a project on me in grad school, 2015. I just got these pictures this year. He had to do like in the life of my. So it was dope, because I was like, damn, like this was like from 2015, like, and
you got the uptown fit.
It was just funny, and I was just like at my old crib, and then grad school, and then at the calf.
That's lit.
That was funny.
That's dope.
Yo, you have any last questions for me?
Last questions, last thoughts. Shit.
I don't know. When I press on the live thing, it says 34. Like, it looks like minutes, but like I know we only have like 2 minutes left.
Oh, before it goes. I was gonna say, what is your daily routine?
Check my phone, go at my laptop, eat lunch around, I don't know, 1, and then go back on my laptop. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously I have a podcast scheduled.
In terms of routine, like, what are you doing on your laptop when you're on there?
Checking emails, editing stuff. I mean, usually I have a list in my head, or I've been starting to write lists down. I didn't use my calendar till like last year. Now I rely on that thing.
That's real, bro.
Because like, and it's the same thing. I remember being in school, like elementary school, and you used to have to write your homework. I used to never write it and remember it. And as I got older, I was like, yo, I can't even remember all this. I used to write it down.
Crazy, right?
It's the same. It was the same exact thing.
That's real shit.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
But yeah, my routine, just check the emails. I usually have tasks like in my head that I know of what I had to do the day of, or like somebody hit me up that, like, I'm never not. I mean, it sounds cliche, but I'm never really not working, because like I'm always on my laptop doing something.
Definitely feel
Yeah.
that. Dude, I appreciate